The Energized Show, up the Irish.
Here we go. Okay, what's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Or Kings Competitions. Ross,
Are you intoxicated or something?
introduce the guest, man. Today, we are being brought to you with the one and only UFC welterweight, the favorite boy from Ballymena. It's the one and only. It's Rhys McKee. Rhys, how you doing, bud? Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, boys. I'm in a good place, and it's always, like I always say, it's always good when we're having a chat. You know, something's coming up, so here we are.
Something is coming up, bud. Absolutely. We're just under a month away from you stepping back into the octagon. This time you're over in Vegas. How excited are you to have a fight in Vegas?
Yeah, you know, I think at the time a lot of people thought it was going to be London, and then it turned out that it was Vegas. For me, honestly, I'm much happier to go to Vegas than I am London. Spent a lot of my career in the UK, so any chance I get to go to somewhere sunny is a happy time.
You're looking you're right in the sun right now, Rhys. Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, I'm up in Belfast. Actually, we're getting a few bits. Me and Rebecca are doing some shopping, so we're in the sunny Belfast. But it's don't let the sun fool you. It's absolutely freezing.
And, how many selfies have you gotten asked for today, Rhys?
Well, none yet. I think maybe I'm going incognito. I haven't got the hair done, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, fair. What's called? He's got the Venom gear kitted out for the second half of the day. he puts on the UFC gloves and everything. That fella.
Yeah, when I want photos, that's what I get out.
Absolutely. Rhys, obviously, big issue for you for the last while has been the inactivity. How excited were you when you got that call to say you were booked?
Yeah,
you were waiting a while.
Yeah, we were in a while. We were almost waiting. I think it was 9 months, maybe 10 months by the time we got news. So for me, I was definitely getting itchy. I was kind of wondering what the future looked like. Obviously, I'm on a 2-fight skid with the UFC. You know, people were being released left, right, and center. So I'd be lying if I said that wasn't on my mind. I was worried that was going to be the next step. However, I was kind of getting comfortable with whatever options I had were going to be the options I had. So I had a conversation with Graham, and he said, "Listen, we have a fight. We're back in Vegas," and it was a very good conversation. It was happy. It was relief. I think in those last few conversations with Graham, I was kind of wondering, what I would do if it wasn't UFC. But like within a split second of him telling me that we've got another one with the UFC, it shows that that's the exact place I want to be. It's the only place I'm really interested in competing right now. So the fact that I have a UFC fight means absolutely everything to me. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm more elated, happy, refreshed now than when I was first signed. I feel like I'm in my new lease of life. I very much feel like this is the version that got me to the dance is back, and I think that's why it's so exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were delighted as well on like, I suppose one thing that was constant, like we're in contact frequently enough, like there's that touch of like any news, when's your next fight, what's the story, you're like, what I mean, that must have been very frustrating for you because you must get that question probably on a daily basis from a variety of different people.
On a daily basis, like I'll be asked that question in a roundabout way, and all people that mean the best, but you're literally answering that question 4 or 5 times a day. So it got to the point where it was starting to bug me, Yeah, and then like it's hard because I also have the question. I want to know, and I'm texting Graham every week, being like, "What is the news?" But the UFC has a heavy roster of fighters. They have loads of people to keep happy, and I'm just one of them. Unfortunately, in the UFC, when you are in a losing streak, you're not at the front of the line. So I just had to pay my time. I had to get in this place where I was comfortable with whatever decision came, when it came would be the right time for it to come. So I waited, I paid my time, and I got what I deserve. I got what I reaped because I was patient.
And especially at welterweight as well. I think that's one of the heaviest rosters in the entire division. I think there's probably more welterweights than any other division. So there's a big number there. But tell us this: your opponent, Daniel Frunza. What do you know about him? Obviously, he's coming from the Contender Series. He's fought in the Apex before, so he's been there. But this is a different kettle of fish when you're gone from Contender Series to actual UFC, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. He seems an exciting fighter. He's a lot of finishes. A lot of his wins are by finishes and or knockouts. So that excites me when I get his name first. He is new to the UFC in terms of it being his debut. But listen, I'm sure he's excited. I'm sure he's ready. I'm sure he's training hard. But I have a lot of time in the UFC cage. So let's see how different it plays. I'm sure Daniel will pose challenges and puzzles, but this fight prep for me has been refreshing, and it's been everything that I wanted for myself. And we're on the journey of Rhys McKee, so I'm not too bothered about Daniel or whoever this opponent may be. Like I said, this whole game could change every time. I know I'm turning up 5th of April, ready and ready just to put on a Rhys McKee performance of a lifetime.
Absolutely, and that's what we're all dying to see, and we can't wait to see you get your hand raised in those UFC gloves. Tell us this. Obviously, you've touched on you're on a losing streak. Do you feel like people are starting to maybe like disrespect your skills or disrespect you in certain ways while you're on this losing streak, and like maybe they've forgotten all the incredible achievements that you've had in your career?
Yeah, 100%. Like I do definitely. I feel like sometimes in Irish MMA, we're such good for our own people, but sometimes when our own people are off the streak, we can maybe be forgotten too. So, I definitely do feel like a chink of that. But however, I get it's that sport. It's the sport with, like the people who are making noise at the current time are the one that get the attention. So I'm here, like. You did take that's so funny.
Do you need to go take selfie, or are you okay?
No, we're good. We're good.
We sent them that way.
I know you paid them a tenner. No, I think when you are in a losing streak, it's very easy for people to write you off. And I get it. People are doing such amazing things in this country, but and listen, here's the thing. I don't need anyone. This journey I'm on. I'm here for myself. I'm here to get the win for me, my family, my close team, and if that means less people are tweeting, then in the nicest way possible, I couldn't give a fuck, because for me, I'm just here for myself and my team and my family.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I think sometimes, someone might just look at it black and white and say, oh, you either won or you're lost. But like, when you actually look at the actual performances, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was split decision loss in your last fight against Njokwani. He's gone on and won his next fight, against Lusa. Like, you know what I mean? He was saved by the bell. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like they've been uncompetitive, and it's not like you've been outclassing them. So like, I think people really need to have watched the fights and like realize what actually went on before they want to forget about all the skills that paid the bills to get there. And I think this great opportunity for you to fight someone who's coming off a Contender Series win, and you'll be by far the more experienced person in there, because I feel like a lot of the fights, maybe bar the Lusa one, like they've had a lot more experience in the UFC than you've had. And like, for someone, put it this way, it'd be rare to meet someone who's been given so many tough outs at the start of their UFC career.
Oh, for sure. And like, this is the thing, it's not even a thing. Like, you look at any of the other fighters, from the UK or probably American, and nobody's been given the touch I've been given. But here's the thing too, I'm also, and you guys have talked to me enough to know this, that I'm not the guy that wants to be the worst fear, or the biggest fear for me in my career is knowing that the guy that only got to fight these guys. I am one of them guys, and that's the thing for me. It's now time to start showing it. So, people can say, oh, he's been given a hard run, but like, that's the run that I want to be on. These are the names that I will be beating very soon. So it just starts on April 5th. And, I don't even think that people have said it's about getting one over the line, but like, I'm such a good fighter. I'm such a world beater that it's just time to start doing it. That's it. Like, I'm not. That's why, like, you'll notice I'm not even speaking to many media outlets this time, because I've nothing to say other than on April 5th. I'm just there to beat the shit out of him, like, and that's it, really. Like,
yeah, we want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Rhys, like, obviously, you haven't had a fight in a year, and now you're back on April 5th. Like you said, you've changed. Like, what have you added to your game in the last year?
You know what? I've just been naturally evolving. Like I've been training for a year without a fight. So like naturally, any athlete in the gym, such as the gym like ours, like you're just gonna have to improve all the time. Like week to week, you're doing training camps with other fighters. You're doing any preparations for them. You're just going to get naturally better. So, but for me, it's just have like my experience is ever growing, not just through fights, but I'm maturing as a man. I'm like evolving as an athlete, and I just feel like I'm just in a really good stage and point in my career, technical, mental wise. Like I'm just in a really, really good place. But again, this is what I keep saying. None of this matters to say this because people could be watching this interview or Frinza could be watching this interview thinking, "Oh, he said this." It doesn't matter a shite because on April 5th, when we stand toe to toe, that is the only fucking thing that matters. So I couldn't care what he says. I don't even care what I say because I know April 5th. That is when we see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down under the bright lights of the UFC banner. Who's going to be the better man on the night? And no doubt
The
the best
people's
Rhys
main event.
McKee is going to show up. 100% the people's main event. Rhys, tell us this: does it make a massive difference when the likes of like obviously Sean McCormack had to pull out of his fight, but like he had a fight booked, Paddy has a fight booked, Paul has a fight booked now? Does it make a massive difference when like all the top guys in the gym have a fight booked at the same time, just for like that higher level of competition training in the gym?
Oh, 100%. Like you think they're like I had Sean, I had Mark, I have Troy, like all these people had active fights, Paddy, active fights. Like there's 4 middleweights alone that were all having, high level fights against tough guys and they've been doing all my fight rounds. So yeah, it makes a massive difference. But the energy in the gym, such as obviously I'm not doing as much work with Paul Hughes, but like with the weight difference, he's massive. Like, but the energy in the gym is good. It's nice to have that energy, and everybody's actively fighting the match. Or 50 people deep on a quiet night. So, it's all switched on at the minute. The gym's hiving now. Like it's really switched on. And now the focus, I suppose, is on my fight next, which is nice. So, we've seen a lot of fights passing through this camp, but now it's my turn.
Yeah, absolutely. What's called you'll have to get one of the lads start speaking a bit of Romanian or something like that for Frunza and get ready, get that trash talk going, But
I didn't even know that's where it was from. That's the first I've heard it.
Well, I hope he's Romanian. I just didn't put him under that banner.
I think he's Moldovan.
Moldovan.
You think so?
I don't know.
No, Romania.
I don't know. As long as he speaks fighting language, he'll be fine.
Basmo throw me under the bus, Rhys. Baz throw me under the bus. Here he is. Tell us this: how has life been? Like, obviously you're a father now, and like, what I mean, like, as Ruby gets that little bit older and stuff like that, do things get easier? You're not, hopefully you're not in like the sleepless nights phase as much anymore.
Yeah, I tell you the truth. I tell you the honest truth. When I sat here and I talked to you before the Chitty and Jaquani fight, I thought I had it all worked out. I thought, this is grand. Plenty of time to train. Training camps is normal. What a complete load of shite. Honestly, the training camp that I had for the Chitty fight, like, honestly, I was in a better position for this fight on week 2 of training camp than I was on fight week for Chitty. And that was just based on a complete lack of time, complete exhaustion due to sleep. It really didn't scratch the surface. Honestly, the level I was at 2, 3, 4 weeks into this fight, like I was never that level for the Chitty fight. So I put myself in a really hard position. But at the same time, I don't regret anything. I needed that fight at the time. I was in a position where I wanted to compete. But now, as I come out of that, hindsight-wise, it wasn't the best time to compete.
No, 100%, and I get that because obviously being a father, like I know what it's like to be exhausted. I know what it's like to be tired, but like I'm not an athlete, so like when your body is your work, like it's so important that you're getting that rest, and it's probably something that people don't really think of at the time because a lot of the times, even your training partners, they'll just see you in the gym type thing, or you know what I mean, or maybe an hour or two either side or whatever, but like they don't see what it's like when you go home and you're doing night feeds and you're trying to give Rebecca a break and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot more.
Like even like Like even like I give a really what's the example? I was literally thinking of an example and I forgot about. Oh yes, when I was in like the training camp for the Chitty fight, like you would have been in the middle of sparring and you would have got like a really jumped out feeling of like, I wonder you need it at home, or I wonder if something happened, blah blah blah. Even that, like, I'm not saying I don't get them feelings now, but I'm able to switch it off for the 3-4 hours a day that I'm training, and really like my training now is my training. Where back then I was literally just turning up, ticking the box. Did I do enough work? That's it. Where now like I'm doing as much work as I can do. I couldn't, I physically couldn't be doing any more this time. So it's gonna. Why is things different? Because my headspace is totally different. I know I can't be doing any more. So whatever happens is there's as much as I can do.
And you getting that feedback from Pat and Chando as well? They see like more switched on, more focused, just that bit sharper.
Yeah, I think everybody knows something's different. I don't think obviously at the time, like, you don't really realize stuff at the time, but I think now that we're training the way we want to be training, and it was never due to not wanting to train or not being arsed. It wasn't that. I just had so much limited time. Where now I think people see that spark in my eye again. They know, like, things are just different now. So it's such a good position to be in now and ready to compete. Like, so good.
I'm sure a few of the lads on sparring day wish they could go back to the sleep deprived Rhys McKee.
Yeah, maybe, but they're grand.
Rhys, we're obviously very excited to see you return on April 5th. And you're also running the Fry Project again on April 12th. How are you finding running the Fry Project, and where would you like to see it go in the next couple of years?
Yeah, it was funny. The Fight Project was booked 2 weeks before I got my own fight date. So we booked it for the 12th of April, which now turns out to be exactly 1 week after my fight, which is absolute chaos. However, I've got such a streamlined thing that it doesn't require much energy. All I have to do really is match the fights, and everything else is just a repeat booking. Like, all the same people work the same show. So it's all plug and play. All I do is match a few fights, and that's all within the clubs that I know so well. So it's zero stress. Where do I want to see it go? I think at some point we're going to turn back into an MMA show. I think that's going to be our natural involvement. I feel like that's maybe, not the next show or not the one after that, but in, like, maybe in the turn of next year would maybe try that again. But I'm not entirely sure. But bigger and better as always.
No, because for people that haven't seen, Rhys is putting out videos. You put out a video of the last Fly Project, and it looked like you weren't doing that much work, man. So it looks easy enough. But like the explosion of combat sports that's gone on the last while in Belfast, up in the north as well, with Paul doing amazing things, and then even the way Crocker was fighting Donovan there recently. Like, do you find more and more people are like want to take part in these events?
Yeah, like, there's definitely more of a fight and interest and appreciation in, like, local towns like Ballymena or Belfast, but to get them in there and compete and step in the ropes, like, it can still be a challenge. So there's definitely I would say there's more an appreciation with the guys that are already doing it or already training with us. But I haven't noticed our doors not being kicked down or anything yet. maybe after this next fight. Normally when I have a fight, the interest normally spikes. So we'll soon see.
Yeah, well, people will be dying to see you get in there, and I think when they see, their Ballymena boy get in there and they see them don the UFC gloves, it inspires a lot of people when people see that, whether you realize it or not. It really, really does. People love you as a person, Rhys, and they love you as a fighter. You know what I mean? You're such a personal guy, but also, like, once you step foot in that cage, the Skeletor comes out, and it's a different kettle of fish. And people, you have such a fan friendly style that people love to see it, and, like, you're in there for the kill. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have that finish rate for no reason.
And you know what? Like, I do genuinely feel it. Like, I do feel it with as much as we can talk about the people that you maybe notice are a bit more quiet now. Like, there's still that same circle that still knows what we do, how we do it, when we do it, why we do it. So that crowd is all I need. So I feel the support of them people, and I know, like, people ask me, why am I not under pressure? Why do I not feel stressed about this fight? Because I'm already living such a blessed lifestyle. Like, I'm already living the life that I want. And on April 5th, it just makes it a wee bit shinier. That's it. Nothing changes. My life will be the same on the Monday after. It'll even be the same on the Tuesday. you know, the result of this fight is just going to make it a bit nicer, and the 50 grand bonus wouldn't do too bad either. So,
Oh, I was just about to touch on that. You know what I mean? Like, you are a natural finisher, so like you're always in with a shout for that 50K bonus. You know?
yeah, 100%. You know, and in this fight, it's going to present itself, and you know, there's going to be opportunities, and you know, the game I'm playing on the level I'm on at the minute, that's what'll happen. So let's see.
Yeah, absolutely,
Rhys,
absolutely.
Rhys, also, just in the build up to the fight, what sort of content will we be seeing from Rhys McKee?
Yeah, well, we're still releasing these vlogs at the minute, which are good fun.
Mm.
And you know, it's just very fly on the wall style. Jack McCann, his brother James, who does the photos, and we're just putting out very much. I wanted the vibe this time to be let people feel like they're in the room, let people feel like they're there. So that's kind of what we've went for. No fancy edits, no, you know,
Mm.
keep the raw stuff in, keep me getting punched in as well. You know, just leaving it as real as it is. So it gives people like an insight what fight camp's actually like. So that's kind of where we're at. But you know, normally as it gets closer to the fight, I close off a bit more, and so I'm trying to keep it as open as I can and let people see as much as we can. But like I said, there's nothing in these vlogs that will change anything, because April 5th is all that matters when we stand across and we say, here's our T's and C's, let's see what we have.
Yeah,
No, it'd be great.
absolutely.
It'd be great to see a fight week vlog as well, Rhys.
Yeah, you know what? I do agree. Me and Pat are and Paul, we're going out a bit earlier. So the fight week vlog means I would have to video it, which I don't mind doing. I think I'm a natural geek at that type of stuff anyway. So
Of
maybe
course.
I'll just have to do that.
Yeah,
I
but
do
like
like that idea.
there'll be nothing stopping you doing the recording part and sending it across someone else to edit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, work
Yeah.
smart and not hard. All that. Sure, that's what I do anyway. Apparently, Baz, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, down there for dancing and all that, you know what I mean? Or down there for head kicks, whatever way you want to say it. But Rhys, I'm actually buzzing now for your fight after talking to you. Not that I wasn't buzzing before, but like, I always feel like every time we have a chat before, I'm like, you know what? You're one of the guys in this sport who, like, I wanted for more than most, if you know what I mean. You just have that personality about you that I'm just like, I just want that guy to win and be successful. Like, he deserves it. You're such a hard working guy. You're so lovely to everyone who comes across your path, and also, like, you know what I mean, just want it for you and your lovely young family. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
absolute top bloke. Always had a lot of time for us. We always have a lot of time for you. Easy one of our favorite fighters, no doubt about it.
Oh, he's
no,
all right.
I really do appreciate it, guys. I always say, I always feel the support from you. So, you know, this one is for us all. The good guys always win, and it's time to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're a bad guy, really.
Yeah, you can be a bad guy for those
guy.
15 minutes.
I'm a scumbag. I'm a scumbag at heart.
Rhys, yeah, look, I absolutely love having you on the build up to any of your fights, to be honest. Is there anything you want to say for the people tuning in on April 5th to see Rhys McKee get his first win in the octagon?
No, it sounds bad, but like, you know, should you watch? Should you not? I don't really mind. But if you do watch, there's going to be a lot of violence and it's going to be fun. So I'd probably tell people they should watch. But no, listen, this one's for us all. This one is for the ones that did stay the path, the ones that have had my back since day one. And the ones who forgot, fuck them, they don't have to watch anyway. And the ones that remembered, they'll be watching. So we're going to have a good time.
Legend. We can't wait for it, man. It's gonna be a night to remember. And Rhys McKee getting his hand raised. Can't wait to see it.
Let's go.
Rhys, thank you very much for your time, bud, and we'll let you get on with the rest of your day.
Of course, guys. Of course.
The Energized Show, up the Irish.
So, Ross, that was Rhys McKee.
Skeletor McKee, baby. He is back 5th of April. And look, he looks like he's ready to make a statement. And I can't wait to see him do it. And like you said, you know what I mean? Like, all the talking means nothing. He needs to get it done in the cage. And I firmly believe he will.
Yeah. Do you think he should have taken a second and got a selfie with that person?
Probably should have, you know what I mean? Probably should have. But you know what? This is the new ruthless McKee that we're seeing. So there we have it, Basman.
That was a ruthless, man, wasn't it? Very
absolutely ruthless.
Absolutely ruthless, man.
But
yeah, and then Rhys will be taking selfies at the Fight Project on April 12th as well, Ross.
Yeah, fresh off a win, he'll be there. Fight Project, always great event. Rhys McKee runs a smooth show. So smooth, Basmo, as you would say, he doesn't have to do anything at it.
I messaged him when I saw that video. He was just sitting there telling people where to go. That was ruthless, man. He's ruthless these days.
Well, who's gonna say no to him?
I don't know.
Skeletor.
For the people tuning in right now, make sure to like and make sure to subscribe because we are here every week promoting Irish MMA and combat sports. If you are enjoying the show as well, make sure to tell a friend because we are also promoting every Irish fight every week, every month, every year on the Energized Show
Every
Instagram
day.
page as well. Every day, man. The amount of content that comes out, it's crazy. It's only the two of us, Ross.
As the Paul say, it's every day, bro. It's every day.
Speaking of Paul Hughes is now headlining PFL Belfast on May the 10th, Ross. Big news is back, baby.
Absolutely, big news is back, and he is fighting Bruno Miranda in a lightweight showcase bout on May 10th in the SSE Arena in Belfast on what should be a very memorable night in Irish MMA. It'll be his first time headlining that arena. It's going to be a big one. You know, he's getting a lot of love from the Belfast fighters these days. I saw he was with Carl Frampton the other day. They bumped into each other. Mick Conlon's always shouting him out. You know what I mean? Like he's becoming a real household name up there. He's really seen his star power really rise in the last 12 months. I don't think I've seen anything like it in a while, Baz. Have you?
No, to be honest. I was sort of surprised with the opponent he got. Like, I know everyone was saying that they want to see Nurmagomedov again. I know we discussed him. I didn't think that was going to happen. Did you think that was going to happen?
I didn't think it was going to be Bruno Miranda, but I like the talk was sort of. I heard a lot of Shane Burgos. I know we said Stephen Ray. Look, I think it's a good opponent for him. It's not like Bruno Miranda is an absolute slouch. You know what I mean? His last fight, you got to win against Patricky Pitbull. But I think I would have just preferred someone who was maybe a better English speaker, so to be for that back and forth for the promotion of the fight. But again, look, it's a fight that it's going to be a tough one for Paul Hughes, but I expect Paul Hughes to get his hand raised.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. Ross, any other Fight Academy Ireland fighters you'd like to see in that card?
Yeah,
don't hold back, man. Don't hold back.
Well, does Hugh? Well, I suppose we should touch on here who has been announced for the card, and the only other person, Declan McAlean, is no longer with Cage Warriors. He's with the PFL now, and he is in the European tournament. And you know what that means? There's $100,000 on the line for Declan McAlean if he can win that tournament. So that'd be absolutely incredible to see him win that. Great competition in there for him. Looks like he's going to fight Van Steenis in the first fight. A few other Connor Hughes, last year's tournament finalist, is also back. Mark Ewan's back. He was scheduled to face Andreas Binder at one stage. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough competition, but no better man to do it than Decky. And great to see PFL sign someone from Team Torres. I don't think they've had a Team Torres fighter before, not that I can recollect. So, great to see that. I suppose, look, they are up in Belfast, so if we're looking at fighters to sign from that region, I suppose does Colin McClurkin have a fight booked? It's funny, you'd say Carl Moore, but he's booked for 2 weeks after in Orlando, or the night before, in Orlando. Trying to think who else. Sean McCormack's free agent. He was supposed to fight in Cage Conflict. He'd be another person who could put bums in seats. Seems to be a popular guy up there. What
about Damien McGuigan making his pro debut?
Damien McGuigan making his pro debut, or if not, a showcase bout between Nate the Great Kelly and Damien McGuigan on the card will be a really, really cool thing that people would love to see. Again, it's hard to say because I don't know what the contract status of a lot of those fighters are. Because a lot of them have fought in Cage Warriors previously, but whether they're signed Cage Warriors on a permanent basis or not, I'm not too sure. Aaron McDonald, I think, is a free agent potentially. So there's another person who you could get on the card to fight. Potentially Kieran Brady as well as a free agent. A few other people who are free agent, like George Grozev, is probably a free agent as well. He could fight on the card. I think Owen Sheridan is scheduled to fight on the card. If they're doing a lightweight tournament, hopefully they do a featherweight tournament as well. and maybe we see Derek Kelly in that tournament, in the European tournament. I think he'd be well ready and able for that as well. So yeah, there's plenty of fighters who are available, who are either under contract or not under contract. So yeah, I think PFL just need to lock them up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, potentially John Mitchell getting on the card.
Yeah, John Mitchell getting on the card as well, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd
Do
be
you know
all for
what
that. Maybe
who
Paul
they should
Buckley.
get on? Maybe Paul Buckley. Do you know what they should get on? Franz Malambo, man.
I don't know what the story is with him. I saw something about something to do with his like citizenship status or something is affecting him fighting. I think.
Yeah, but like they're
No,
fighting
I
in
could have
Ireland.
that wrong, but
The event's on in Ireland, so I think they should be able to get him on.
yeah, hopefully so. Like, it'd be great to see France get it back in there and get a fight. Now, apologies if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure he wrote something to do with that previously. But France is always exciting to watch, and I'd love to see him back in there.
Potentially Danny McCormick.
Who?
Danny McCormick.
Man, she's pregnant.
Oh, okay. Okay. So potentially not Danny McCormick.
No, definitely not Danny McCormick.
All right.
Um,
Well then, Ross. My bad.
Oh, actually, Marek from FAI as well. I think could be a good shout as well.
Yeah,
Be
and
great
so
I think that could be a good fight for him.
well, keep your
Also,
eyes
Gary
peeled.
Rooney actually as well. Gary Rooney's a great option for PFL to have as well. Why not? Like,
Well, we will be keeping you up to date on the Energized Show's Instagram page with all the latest signings. There was also a big announcement as well in PFL that the World Tournament is going down, and Nathan Kelly is fighting in Orlando in the featherweight tournament on the 3rd of April. Then the following week, Kieran Clark will be fighting on Friday the 11th in the bantamweight tournament, and also Carl Moore, as Ross mentioned earlier, will be fighting on the 1st of May in the light heavyweight tournament. So we will keep you up to date with all that action. Ross, we have to discuss what's going down this weekend. It's UFC London, baby.
it's UFC London, baby. Let's go. I am absolutely buzzing for it. We have 2 Irish fighters on the card. We have Shauna Bannon. She is coming off the first win of her UFC career, and she's going to look to build on that. Can't wait to see it. And then we have Caelan Loughran, who's fighting against Nathan Fletcher. Both guys have been on the show multiple times. This is a rematch from the amateur days. So that's definitely going to be one to watch. Caelan Loughran, obviously former Cage Warriors bantamweight champion. Nathan Fletcher fought for the bantamweight strap, but was not victorious against Dominic Wooden. So it'll be interesting to see who gets their hand raised in that one. But that one's definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, that's a rematch from the amateur days as well.
Yeah. So Caelan will definitely want to get that one back.
That's potentially the people's main event.
Well, like it definitely is, I think, domestically. I think if you're looking at domestic fights, that's the one that people are going to want to see, you know?
Yeah. Well, then in the main event, Leon Edwards will be fighting Sean Brady. Some people say he's Irish as well, Ross.
Some people would say he's Irish, but I don't think I would. But yeah, he's going to fight Leon Edwards in the main event, and I fancy Leon Edwards to win. I just don't think Sean Brady's going to be able to just wrestle Leon and get away with that and ride out a victory, to be honest.
Do you think the way Sean Brady was originally scheduled to fight a different opponent and then had to replace Jack Della Maddalena, do you think that will play any factors?
No, I don't think so. I think Sean Brady was probably training hard enough anyway. He seems to be a guy who's always in shape. He does a bit of jiu-jitsu competing when he's not actually in the cage competing. And if anything, I think Leon's probably got a more favourable matchup now than he had before.
And is there any other fights on the card you think people should definitely tune in and see?
Like, I think one that's probably not getting enough praise is I'm actually really excited to see Jan Blachowicz back in the cage here, because I suppose not that people might forget, but Jan Blachowicz, he drew with Ankalaev, and a good win over Carlos Ulberg, who's ranked number 6 in the division. that could line him up for a potential title shot. So I think people are maybe overlooking that. Gunnar Nelson versus Kevin Holland are like two polar opposites in terms of personality going toe to toe, and then like the sort of Cage Warriors domestic bust up. Well, I'm not too sure if Chris Duncan fought Cage Warriors, but like Vucenic versus Duncan is like domestic fight that I'm dying to see, and then like Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier is also sort of European fight that I'm like, let's have it. You know what I mean? In fairness, it's actually a great card. I think maybe not as much star power as some of the other UK shows have had it as of late, but then again, maybe I wouldn't feel that if Leon was still the champion. But also like Mick Parkin and Lonnie Kavanagh as well, like two top talents in the division. Like Mick Parkin's already a top 15 heavyweight. He's sleeping people left, right, and center, and he's fighting Marcin Topora, who seems to be a bit of a litmus test in the heavyweight division. If you beat Topora, you're one of the top heavyweights. If you don't, you're probably not getting into that top 5 anytime soon. And then Lonnie Kavanagh, I feel like, could compete with any flyweight on the planet right now.
The thing is, which is great for us, is that the event is on a normal time for us. It's none of this Manchester bullshit 5 a.m. job.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should meet up next weekend and watch the fights. What do you think?
I think I'm busy that day, man.
Typical you.
Because I'll be watching Clan Wars 51, baby.
Oh yeah, here we go. Clanny Wars.
Ross, Clan Wars 51 is going down Saturday the 22nd.
Few pro fights on this card now. I am looking forward to it. Some great amateur fights on the card as well. So with that being said, we have the long way to return of Kieran Mulholland. Kieran Mulholland, long time energized guest. He's a top of the range guy. Never out of a fight, Kieran Mulholland. So really excited to have him back. And he's fighting against Aaron Brogan. Brogan is actually scheduled to fight again at Akuma as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes for him. We also have the card Lopez versus Misuk. And then Ivanovic is fighting Damian McKenna, which was... I don't know. There's always controversy when Ivanovic fights. He's at 0-8 and he's fighting against Damian McKenna. Interesting enough, when Clan Wars announced this fight, they actually turned the comments off, Baz. What do you make of a promotion doing that? Do you feel like they knew it wasn't a good matchup to make and didn't want to face the backlash? Or what are your thoughts on that? Like, for every other fight, the comments are on. For that one, they're not.
Yeah, I think you're after calling them out there, Ross. Dane McKenna came off he got his pro win. Was it on Virtuous?
Yeah.
Pro debut.
Chaos.
He won in Chaos on his pro debut.
Yeah.
And do you remember the record of your man that he fought?
Oh, I actually can't off the top of my head now.
That was a tough one to ask.
Yeah. It's like, do you know the record of that guy who we haven't heard of before? I can look him up now, fairly sharpish. But
Ivanovic 0-8, man. Oh, like, he must absolutely love it. Do you know what? I was watching this bare knuckle. Like, we're in it. We have an Energized show.
McAleese is now 0-3. At the time, he was 0-2. Although in fairness, like, he lost. Yeah, but in fairness, he lost to like Matthew Friel. He lost Dane McKenna. And then since he's lost to Kieran Brady, like, he seems to have fought very good competition. But although you can say the same about Ivanovic at times, like, you know what I mean? Like, Max Lally's beating him, Solomon Simon's beating him. It's just more so, Lee Hammond's beating him, Dartoman's beating him. You know what I mean? It's just more so, it's not like he had a stellar amateur career. I just sometimes wonder about his own decision to go in there and fight, as in Ivanovic's own decision. Like, is that a smart thing for him to go in and fight these guys?
Yeah, but the thing is, right, as I was saying, we have an Energized MMA show WhatsApp group, and we put in all the latest combat sports news, and then there was this bare knuckle documentary that came out in Vice, and I sent it in, and there was this like 60-year-old traffic patrol guy who constantly fights all the time. Now he's fought 10 times and lost 9 and won 1. And the thing is, he says like he just loves going in because he feels like it clears the demons in his head. And like obviously we're talking that's bare knuckle now. It's not MMA. So like Ivanovic, when you're looking at 0-8, like the chap has to absolutely love it. Like, and the thing is, think about how big it would be for him to get that win over Damien McKenna as well. Like,
yeah, no. Like, look, I think it took Solomon Simon 3 rounds to finish him, and Solomon Simon's finished everyone in his pro career. So like, it's not like he's not tough. You know what I mean? It's just more how many losses in a row you have before like you get like excommunicated on topology type of thing, and like a win over him doesn't count. You know what I mean? And then like also that's gonna be something that's could be like thrown back in your face later on. It's been like, oh, you're only fighting bums type of thing. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not holding against Damien McKenna either. Like you have to sort of your first 2 or 3 fights. You know what I mean? If you want to make a slower transition to pro, like it's totally fine to fight guys who you think are maybe less good, if you want to put it that way. But
you could look at it this way. He could have people turn them down as well.
Yeah, true. But I suppose like, look, that's the pro fights. What I'm massively interested here on this card are some of the amateur fights in the card because they're absolute bangers. And I'm not out here to slay Clan Wars. No matter what promotion made that fight, I would have said the same thing. Key McCartney.
What happens if it happened on the Fight Project?
Rhys be getting a phone call. Key McCartney is fighting Billy Sutherland for the flyweight title, which I think is an unbelievable scrap. Billy Sutherland was meant to go pro on this card, but his opponent fell out, so back down to amateur. Fighting Key McCartney. Key McCartney is 3-time IMF champion, fighting out of SBG. Very, very dangerous at all times in the fight. Great submissions off his back, so that's going to be a really, really good fight. McBride is fighting Swan for the bantamweight title, which is another fantastic fight. There's 1 or 2 other fights on the card. Hold on, that I was like really excited to see. Jed Paolo is fighting Nathan Taco Chambers for the featherweight title. 2 really, really good guys there. Nathan Taco Chambers fighting out of SB Nate at the moment, and that gym is on fire at the moment. Also, Peter Halfpenny is taking on Reno Flaherty as well. That's a brilliant fight as well. So like, there's some really, really good fights on this card as well. So shout out to Clan Wars on that matchmaking. There are some really good fights on the card that I am looking forward to see as well. So and actually one more. Ronan Deegan's coming back, Baz. It's been a hot minute since we've seen Ronan Deegan strap on them MMA gloves. He's going toe-to-toe with Adrian Barrow, who's no slouch himself. So that's an absolutely massive fight in the bantamweight division. And a win there could easily see them fight the winner of Swan versus McBride, I think.
Ross, which fight on the card are you most looking forward to?
Who am I looking forward to most? That's a good question. Maybe the Nathan Taco Chambers versus Jed Paolo fight. I think could be a good one. I think maybe that one, or maybe McCartney and Sutherland. I think they're the 2 that I'm like. I think the winner of that will seriously up their stock.
If you had to pick one now,
I'm going to pick the Taco fella and Paolo.
Okay, grand. I'll go with the Key McCartney fight. I think that's pretty good. There is a few women's fights on the card as well, so it is an event to definitely check out. And also UFC London will be on that night as well.
Sorry, Jamie McCafferty is fighting Shay Lethal Latham on that card as well. That should be very, very good. Totally forgot about that one. Jamie's going to be freaked. That's going to be a great fight. They're going to bang it out on the feet.
Jamie probably wrote us a message there, and then when it got to this part, he deleted it. Very Jamie McCafferty calling us out, Ross. One of the tallest fighters in the country.
Spider monkey.
Then another thing I like the way Clan Wars do as well. They got all the champions to do a press conference as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool the way they're like expanding, and they're putting more into the promotions of the events. And that's why we will definitely be tuning in. We'll be also tuning into UFC London. And we want to give a shout out to James Webb, who'll be defending his Cage Warriors light heavyweight title Cage Wars 186 in London on the Friday night.
I don't know. I actually don't know if that's happening anymore. You know that?
Okay, well then maybe that's not happening. We will keep you updated, Ross.
You know what? I'm actually going to reach out to James Webb after this and see what's happening. Because George Hardwick's not fighting, and he's been moved. Or sorry, he was meant to fight this weekend. Now it's been moved to the same card as Harry. So for the first time ever, they're going to have two brothers defend their title on the same night, which should be interesting because it means they're going to fight back to back. Normally they corner each other. Just want to say thanks a million for everyone supporting us. Really do appreciate it. Make sure to give us a like, share, subscribe. Means that it actually does mean a lot to us. I know we say that, but it actually does mean a lot to us. It's free as well, which is always nice.
It is important.
It is important to us. It's important to help us grow and help us promote Irish MMA. But guys, no, honestly, thanks so much for everyone who does support us. We really appreciate it. Myself and Barry work very, very hard at this. We're both working full-time jobs on top of this, as well as doing other things as well. So really appreciate it. And thanks a million. What are yourself, Basman?
Yeah, hopefully.
Or did I say all the good bits?
You rubbed all the good bits, man. You read the notes that I sent you. No, honestly, look, we enjoy promoting Irish combat sports. It is very important to us and the fighters to give them the biggest platform possible. Like, if you tune in every week, if you hit a like, it's free. We appreciate it. Hit subscribe. It is important for us to grow the channel. Therefore, getting fighters on a bigger platform. Therefore, the events get bigger. Therefore, everyone grows, and then these fighters do eventually get more pay because their name is bigger. It is it's a snowball effect. So we really appreciate it. Make sure to stay safe, and as always, stay energized.
The Energized Show, up the Irish. It's the face that runs the place, Chaos Curtis. I want to thank the Irish MMA community so much for getting behind me. Yup, the Chaos Cartel.